Hello, I'm going to talk to you now about changing the width of columns and the depth of rows. So we're really going to be looking at resizing a spreadsheet to fit our data a little bit better. So you can do this on a per column or a per row basis, but you can also do this for an entire list. So first of all, I'll show you doing this on a per column or per row basis. So if I wanted to make the department column wider, I move between, can you see in this case, E and F? You always pick with a column the right hand side of the column to kind of make that particular column a bit wider. So if I click here, hold my left mouse button down and drag. And you'll notice, can you see that little post-it note appears telling me the size in millimeters and also the amount of pixels that it's going to go to. So once I'm ready, let go, and can you see it resizes that column? Now, one thing you might find if you resize a column that's got numbers in it and you resize it to the point where it's not quite big enough to display all of the numbers, you will see a hash symbol appear. And what that means is it's your sort of hint to open that up a little bit so it displays the entire number. You'll also have that happen with dates. Now, again, if you want to do this on a row rather than a column, you highlight beneath rather than to the right. So we always, in this case, let's say I want to highlight and make Annie a deeper row, drag on the line and then let go to the point I want that row to be. Now that's allowing me to do it on a per column or a per row basis. If I want to do this for the whole list, I could do it for the columns. So I move to the top above the first column, click and hold and then drag. Once I've done that, if I pick any one of the lines in between the column headers, it doesn't really matter which one. If I drag and then let go, can you see it makes all of those columns wider by exactly the same amount? So with all of those columns highlighted, and if you resize one of them manually using your left mouse click, it will make them all the same. Or alternatively, if you highlight all of those columns, instead of clicking and dragging the particular line, you can double click on the line. And what the double click does, it resizes the column to fit the information that's actually within that column. So just to exaggerate this, I'm going to mess around with the widths of these columns. So shall we say it's a little bit, for want of a better phrase, higgledy-piggledy, yeah? So what I do, move over, in this case, column A, drag across. Now before we clicked and held and that would make them all the same. But this time, again, on any one of these lines, double click. And can you see it just kind of sorts all the widths out for me? Exactly the same principle on the rows. So if I highlight a section of rows, I can make those rows deeper. They all go the same. Or I can move between a line and double click. And that will shrink the information to fit the biggest piece of data in those rows and just kind of resizes it to fit the information. So that is how to change the width of columns and the depth of rows, either on a per column or row basis or for the whole shebang in one go.